July 13th. So not long after our last show, Joshisa Trader, athlete, meaning wide receiver, 6'1", 175 out of Chaminade. Big commit.
Yeah. JoJo Trader, the other 5-star receiver at Chaminade that we've talked about. And it's ironic because remember last week I was saying, because people were getting ornery in the comments, said, it's basically because the recruiting staffers are like, oh, we're chasing these whales and something's going to happen. And said, like, shut up and work and let us see it, because, the continued hinting and no action is what, breeds discontent. And they said, we hear you. We see you. Here's a 5-star wide receiver, the likes of which we've not had in a long time, commit to the University of Miami in Josiah Trader. So yeah, JoJo, he's electric. He's, 6'1", 185 pounds. He can do it all. He plays opposite of what's his face? Oh my God, why can't I remember this kid's name now? Lord Jesus. What is wrong with my brain? Who's the other kid at Chaminade? Visits. My mind literally just went blank. Jeremiah Smith, Geno Smith's cousin. Duh.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so he plays, Trader plays opposite of Jeremiah Smith, and some would say that he's the better player. If you look at the high school level, you see defenses routinely tilting their coverage Trader's way and not Smith's way, because you kind of have to choose. If you look at the composite, yeah, he's top 25 in the country, number 3 athlete, but I mean, because Chaminade's a small school and he does play both ways. Most of those skill players play both ways. He's playing receiver. Like, let's just get that together. Had the same conversation with people around Amon Richards years ago about, if we were to put his physical gifts on the defensive side of the ball. I said, what are we talking about here? You get a kid of this caliber, you put him on offense, because we need dudes on offense. And he's a top 5 player in the state of Florida, probably higher than that when you remove a couple dudes from IMG who are not Florida natives, but they count them as in Florida because that's where they attend school. But like a David Stone is from Oklahoma, he'll probably be higher in the state of Florida rankings than Josiah Trader, but he's not actually a Floridian, you know what I mean? But Trader, he's every bit the 5-star that he's built to be. He is a game breaker. He might have the best hands in South Florida. He might have the best hands that we've seen in South Florida in a decade, 15 years or more. This kid is everything that you want at the wide receiver position. Multiple time state champion from a dominant program in Chaminade, obviously plays with elite level players. So, I know somebody who I used to work with whose son went to Chaminade, and this dude told me that basically all the dudes from Chaminade would come to Miami. It was basically Smith and Trader, but they were trying to strong arm Miami to take the quarterback. Cedric Jenkins, something like that. Kid who's committed to North Carolina State. I said, you know what? If it was during a previous regime, maybe you play that game, but like now you kind of have to recruit on your own merits. And if you lose a guy because you're not going to take, you're not going to be beholden to the package deal, kind of a thing where like Robert Kemdiche got 15 dudes from his high school team, scholarships all across the Southeast before, ending up at Ole Miss. Excuse me. You don't have to do that, but regardless of any of those kind of things, Josiah Trader, getting him is as big a deal as it could possibly be. Getting him or Jeremiah Smith, just elite players. These are the kind of guys where, again, you don't need to get everyone, but you have to get your own fair share. So even if we split on the 2 from Chaminade, the 2 5-stars, you get one and you miss on the other. To me, that's getting your fair share. Now, you're still chasing Ryan Wingo from St. Louis, 5-star wide receiver. You're still chasing Jeremiah Smith from Chaminade on the other side of the field, 5-star receiver. You're still going after these other dudes and trying to get the kind of talent that you need. But, I mean, Miami went 0 for South Florida in terms of 5-star receivers for the longest time. I mean, this is the best wide receiver recruit that we've had since Amon Richards. And I stand on that. There were plenty of people who hopped in my mentions. John Dunmore, my God, former recruit, went to Penn State and everything. He hopped in my mentions talking about, with a crying emoji, with the little skull, like crying dead. I'm like, bro, I had literally former college football players hopping in my mentions talking about, Fam, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I don't watch more than a couple of these guys. And you can disagree if you want to. John Dunmore, who like we wanted and was he was a high 4-star guy who washed out and like did not much. But like, he coming in saying like LOL, kind of stuff. Hey, look, man, go watch Josiah Trader on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever day. Go watch this kid play, right? Go watch a Jeremiah Smith play. And again, I'm not saying that there weren't other players of this ilk. I'm just saying Miami didn't get any of these guys. And respectfully, John Dunmore, Josiah Trader's better than you were. With all due respect. And because John Dunmore was a monster. But like, we got the monster killer if we're going down that path. You know what I mean? But getting a guy of Trader's ability, locking him down, is just immensely important for Miami, especially because of the position that he plays. So having this happen, and especially, the day after we recorded and everything, hopefully giving Miami some more momentum, which they did continue later because we were talking about another recruit, was really, really, really impactful. And hopefully the offense progresses through the season. You keep Trader in this class and then add another, if not a couple more, really dynamic wide receivers.
You brought up John Dunmore. I'm not aware of a John Dunmore. I'm aware of Penn State wide receivers. When it comes to any top 25-ish program across the country, I pretty much know the personnel. So I went to John Dunmore's stats thinking, okay, why don't I recognize this name? Did not step on the field at Penn State. Transferred to Oregon State, caught 10 passes in 2 seasons. 1 in 1 season, 9 his last season here in 2022. So he's still...
As in last year.
Yes.
Right. But I mean, if you go back, John Dunmore 247, and I mean, just to give credit, right? Because I will give credit where credit is due. John Dunmore, who went to Chaminade, right? If I go back, go back there. I mean, he was a top 200 player in the country, top 20 wide receiver, top 17, 20 in the state of Florida. Look, like I said, he was very good. He was a blue chip guy that like Miami was recruiting and would have taken on this roster. But it ain't the same. Again, with all due respect for a current guy who had 9 catches last year, he has a chance to step into a larger role at Oregon State this year for a team that has designs on, a bowl game, potentially pushing for 9 or 10 wins. I am not calling that man trash. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to sit here and lie. But also by not sitting here and lying, I'm not going to say that he's as good as Josiah Trader or Jeremiah Smith. That, respectfully, no, sorry.
Yeah, if either one of Trader or Smith is catching 9 passes in their 3rd season in college, we will be talking about supreme bus.
Yeah, I mean, absent injury. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
sure.
Yeah, and again, I mean, if you look, Miami brought him in for an official visit late in December, had 33 offers, took visits everywhere, Florida, Michigan, Auburn, Penn State, where he ended up. I mean, again, I am not sitting here and demeaning that man, but Josiah Trader's better. And look, it'd be like that.
Did you initiate this tweet, or did I just see it on your feed or on the State of the U, where there was an exchange between Amon Richards and JoJo Trader?
Amon Richards quoted my tweet saying JoJo Trader is the best receiver recruit since Amon Richards. So AR himself quoted and said, "Hey man, it's all love, respect, jits like that. Looking forward to him in orange and green," or whatever it was. And I think that spun off, and then they, just kind of gave each other respect off of that. But that was a quote tweet on top of my tweet that said that. And literally, I didn't even say anything else. You know what I mean? I won't even say woefully behind, but I haven't even been writing Welcome to the U pieces this year. So I didn't even hop in the lab and do anything. I just literally tweeted that because I had just woken up from a nap. And my tweet deck wasn't working that day because, South African Elon just wants to break that app all the way down. So I couldn't even really tweet much. And I think I hopped on my phone and tweeted that and just sent it and forgot it. And man, whoo boy, it picked up some steam, which was kind of crazy. But hey, I mean, proof is in pudding. When I talk, y'all listen. And I appreciate that about y'all.